You know, you picking us up at the airport and getting us to the hotel, everything went along smooth. You know, we got our luggage. Somebody was there to meet us, took us out to the van and took us right to the hotel. It was really great.
It's very inclusive, extremely inclusive, and it makes this trip so relaxing and so inviting, and you don't want it to end. It's just, you have no worry about where you're going to have to stop every night, where you're going to have to go every morning, noon, and night for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I think as a history buff, it puts things in much more context to physically be there and to know that how that things are real, for one thing, and that there are surviving elements that other people honor and respect and attempt to preserve.
Just being here is, I don't know, it's very emotional. It's exciting, it's interesting. There's so many emotions that run through it. It's for everyone, any age.
That's a fantastic experience, and one that I think is well worth the effort. And we're very, very happy that we can be a part of this.
The best part of the trip? Oh my goodness, I loved every day, and it just got better and better.
It's nice to be able to express your opinions with somebody who knows what you're talking about.
I loved it all. What can I say? It's been perfect.
This visit to Littlecote has been marvelous. Seeing people, hearing their accounts, weaving that into my knowledge, and then adding the bonus of a place that dates back 500, 600 years, and then Roman ruins back 2,000 years. I can't imagine, and I know it's only going to get better.
The witnesses that have taken the time to share their experiences and their comments with us are really fascinating.
As I was on the ferry, I was trying to take myself back to what the GIs were thinking that came over by ship in June of '44.
I was amazed at how big this ferry, so to speak, was that we came across the channel in. I never saw a ferry that big. I always visualized ferries as being quite a bit smaller than that. But I was amazed at the amount of traffic they put on that ferry in big trucks and big buses and that.
I think the highlight of the day for me was an emotional highlight. And I thought of it two ways. I thought of it as a 17, 18-year-old German soldier waking up at 6 o'clock on June 6th and seeing thousands of ships out there. And I also saw it very emotional as a 17-year-old GI coming ashore and fighting the fight of his life. And I just can't imagine what the thoughts were in either one of their minds.
I was very impressed to walk down the beach and see the holes that they had where the guns had been, and then to walk back up again to know that the treacherous things that they had to do, the sand, and having those heavy backpacks to carry everything back upstairs, back up must have been awful for them.
What's the highlights of this trip? The beaches. Omaha Beach, Utah Beach, the big guns and the big bunkers on top up there. That to me has really been eye-opening, to crawl up that beach, Omaha, to go down the beach and come up that beach the way they had to come up so long ago.
Emotionally inspiring moment, I think, to just see the history, the sacrifice, the attention that's being given to the memories of all these people here that did make all those sacrifices, including the ultimate sacrifice for many.
I'm a retired Air Force veteran, 20 years, and this was very moving today to me to visit here and walk on the grounds of Omaha Beach and see the graveyards of all those that fought for us. And it really is very emotional and very touching to my heart today.
The high point ride for me today I must say, it was lunch in the museum, and the high point was we were lucky enough to have the speaker on our table to have lunch. We spent probably close to 2 hours with him. He was fascinating. He was explaining the wars and particularly the history before the wars.
My favorite was seeing the foxholes where these men actually had to live through this, and maybe it's crazy, but I think I felt what maybe they felt. It was a perfect day for Bastogne because it was snow on the ground and the wind was blowing, and it was very cold, and I was only outside for an hour, and I can't imagine being outside laying in a foxhole in water and being wet and below zero. How those men survived that, what kind of men it took to survive any of that. True courageous men.
The forest where the foxholes were, I felt like I could feel the men running for cover.
Well, I think it's very extensive, and obviously the reason is, part of the reason anyway, is this material was all left somewhere along the road, and they picked up what they could early on and made a museum out of it. And from then on, it probably even got more extensive because of persons that were more experienced with collecting and bartering and going to auctions and things like that.
Here it says Liberation of Luxembourg, a tribute to veterans.
Very nice.
So, and that's for you, sir, with a big handshake.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you
appreciate it
did
very much.
65 years ago. Thank you.
Wow. That's something.
Okay.
Very good.
Thanks again.
Appreciate it a lot.
Thank you for coming down.
Visiting where the prisoners were held in such darkness, and they were given no light and just tortured. And to walk down the places where they would have been shot and killed, and the gas chambers were just, it's heart-wrenching to know what they have done to those poor people.
To me, it was very moving. It gave me a different perspective on the entire war, because of the forced labor and how these people were forced to do a terrible job, and they had absolutely no choice but to do this work, and they lost all their rights, they lost all their decency, they lost everything.
The bus has a lot of rooms, very comfortable. The one long day was like a 6-7 hour drive, and it was very, very comfortable on the bus. You just spread out and relax and take a nap if you want, but it was very enjoyable.
The bus has been great. We've had one long day of travel. Everything else has been just from one thing to the other. It's always been something ready to go.
The bus itself is I'm in love with the bus. The bus, I think, is like the Cadillac of all buses, and maybe it isn't, but I just think the bus is fantastic. The ride is just like you're riding on air. Seats are comfortable. The drivers I want to pack them all up and take them home with me. They're so sweet and kind, and they just are very professional.
Just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.